Let's talk about some of the different individual groups here, guys, of Mora knives. I want to start with the Mora Classics. I love the Mora Classics. Right here, I have two Mora Classic number 2s, and the only difference between them is that this one is an old one that I've done modifications on. I've used very much, and it's almost on its last legs. And here's a brand new one. I have several brand new Mora Classic number 2s. I just like to have them on hand. They're such great knives. If there's anything I like better than the Mora Classic number 2, it's the Mora Classic number 1. I love the Mora Classic number 1, and the reason for that is I wear medium-sized gloves to give you an idea of how big my hand is. The slight difference in size, you see how that's a little bit smaller than the Classic number 2, makes all the difference in the world. It fits comfortably in my hand. It does not, it's not prone to slipping as much because of how secure that it fits in my hand, and offers all of the same benefits as the Classic number 2. If you're looking for your first Mora knife and you don't mind a classic style with no finger guard, there's a Classic number 1 or 2. There's also a Mora 600 series that does offer a finger guard. It's pretty much the same knife with a finger guard on there if you like that added security. I know Irene likes those a lot. Check out her videos, and I will leave a link to her channel down below, and I think you'll enjoy those if you like the security of a finger guard. Let's talk about our Mora 500 series. This is the Mora 511. This has a very pronounced finger guard on it. This, to me, is uncomfortable, and it has gotten in my way a lot of the time. So I own two other Mora 511s that I've actually batoned that finger guard off because I don't like it. Outside of that, it's a tremendous short, thin blade. It has that plastic handle. It's open to modifications, so I went ahead and put a little lanyard on there. I don't use lanyards functionally. What I use lanyards for is if I drop that knife, I just want a lanyard on there so I'm able to find it a little bit easier. Then there's one of my absolute favorite Moras, and that's the Mora 510. I love this little knife. It's exactly the same blade as the 511. It just doesn't have the finger guard. And not only that, it's a very comfortable handle. I mean, I love it. I love both handles. But this one's a neutered version, so it doesn't have that. Tremendous blades. I mean, very inexpensive. All of these Mora knives that you're going to see on the tarp are under $50, and most of them are under $30. So you can buy any of these as your first woods blade, as your second woods blade, as your 20th woods blade, and not be out that much money. The Mora Classic series that we discussed, all under $20. Each of these knives under $20. However, I'm having a harder time finding this 511. Now that they've made a brand new Pro 511, I'm having a harder time finding this one. Mora utility blades, guys. This is the Mora 711, which I love. This one here, what differentiates this one is the handle. You have a little bit of a swell and then a curve in the bottom of the handle. Hint of a finger guard, so it's not too obnoxious. And the 711 is carbon steel. There's a stainless alternative to this one. I prefer carbon, and I love this knife right here. It's a great woods blade, and it feels great in the hand. Another thing that this one has is the lizard skin type of grip, which is pretty cool. Mora Companion MG, my first ever fixed woods blade. I've beat on this thing a lot, and it still smiles to this day. Nice thin blade for carving. Just take your file to it and square off the spine, and this is a tremendous knife. The Mora Clipper, Mora clipper. The thing that differentiates this one from the companion is the rubberized handle. You see the gripping on there? It has like a lot of little notches on there on each side. Another tremendous woods blade. And then you have the HQ Robust, which is one of my absolute favorite Moras. This one, in my opinion, has one of the best bushcraft handles out of all bushcraft knives. It has the swell here. I love the way it fits in my hand, and it's very open to long-term use. It's also 1/8 of an inch thick, or 3.2 millimeters thick. So it's a little bit thicker than a lot of the blades on the tarp here. And just an outstanding knife. I don't think the HQ Robust gets the credit it deserves, especially because it's the same knife as the Mora Companion HD Heavy Duty. It's cheaper than that, and I think it also stands right up to the Mora Bushcraft Black, which is almost double the price of the HQ Robust. This is the Mora Pro C Robust, which I don't mind. It's more stout. It's still 1/8 of an inch thick, rubber over plastic handle. It has a much more pronounced finger guard and palm guard, I think that's called, on the bottom. And while it fits nice in the hand, and it does replicate some other bushcraft knives, I still prefer the Mora HQ Robust. The length is different, the handles are different, and most of the Pro series are very similar to this one, so this is really the only one that I've picked up, and it's a tremendous blade. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I just prefer a little bit longer and a little bit different style of a handle. I'm not a fan of these guards here on each side. But it's a very inexpensive knife, under $15, and wouldn't hurt as a first Mora blade at all.